The new Wonder Woman trailer is here, and I believe it has shown us who the villains are. The first one being an obscure one called Dr. Poison, who I believe we're seeing here, played by actress Alina Anaya. And she is a villain who in the comics is a master of poisons, duh, Dr. Poison. In the New 52, she was called Dr. Maru, and I'm assuming they'll probably go something a little more realistic like that, but you never know. Someone might give her a nickname, Dr. Poison. But she was always in the comics wearing a mask and had something wrong with her face, as she's clearly has here a facial prosthetic, which they would use during the times of World War I, where this movie takes place, for people with disfigurements and injuries. There's a story in the comics where she actually makes a magical virus with the blood of a demigod, and if she is getting help from Ares, who I think might also be in this movie, we'll talk about that in a second, that would allow her to make that extra corrosive gas that we see here, eating through and crushing this gas mask. And we, of course, know World War I was known for chemical warfare. And so think of a gas that can eat through our one line of defense against that. That is super scary. And because there's a magical element to this gas, at least in the comics, then it could affect Wonder Woman. And so I'm thinking that would act sort of as her kryptonite, maybe weaken her for the final battle. I don't know. And maybe a final battle against who? I don't know. Maybe Danny Houston's character, who I think either has to be Ares, who is, of course, the god of war, longtime enemy to Wonder Woman, or he's the Duke of Decimation, who's a very obscure character, again, from the comics, who works for Ares. And he's a demigod, and he causes deceit, he spreads mistrust, and provokes humanity into war. And he's very manipulative, kind of like Loki from the Marvel movies, except he doesn't look like he'll be sneering as much as Tom Hiddleston does. But so it would actually make sense for him to be the force behind World War I, causing all this massive conflict. And war is actually the thing that powers up Ares. So Ares would be at peak power after something like World War I. And because he's a demigod, maybe Dr. Poison is using his blood to make that super deadly gas. I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but it all fits when you think about it. And there's actually a shot here of Dr. Poison rolling what looks like a gas bomb into the same room that Houston was just in. So maybe he walked in there and was like, you've all disappointed me for the last time. And then he calls her in and she kills everybody just to show how deadly she can be. And something else really exciting here is actually towards the end is Wonder Woman jumping up into the air, flipping, pivoting, pulling the sword out, and taking off into a run. Completely amazing, but it looks like she cannot fly like in the comic books, at least not yet. In the New 52 comics, she couldn't fly until Hermes gave her that power, and she saved a baby when it was thrown off a cliff, which was super epic and very cute. And then if we keep going forward here, she's using her magical glowing lasso to fight what looks like to be the big bad at the end of the movie. And if we look here, I think that's Houston's character. If we go forward, we actually see like the gray hair right here. One more, yeah, right there, yeah, like on the back of her head, back of his head. So I'm assuming again he's the Duke of Deception. And he has what it takes to go toe to toe with Wonder Woman because they're both demigods. And this looks like actually just the end of the movie again, like where stuff is hitting the fan, debris is floating into the air, the ground is coming up. She's deflecting some sort of energy blast here. I don't know. Maybe Ares shows up at the end and she has this huge fight with him, or maybe they're saving him for the sequel. I don't know. But I also have to wonder, based on what we know about the Justice League movie, is that the humans, the Atlanteans, and the Amazons all have a mother box, and Darkseid wants those. So I'm wondering if a mother box, which can teleport through dimensions, is maybe causing all this chaos and causing the ground to lift up into the air and distorting gravity. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with it, and that's how the Amazons wind up with it for the Justice League movie set in the present day. I don't know. Again, I'm just writing fan fiction here. So let's actually go back to the beginning of the trailer, and yeah, so here she is looking at the picture we saw in Batman v Superman. It's this one thing she really wanted, had a lot of value to her. Looks like she's finally got the original. And this is set in the present day, remember? And then the movie is essentially a flashback explaining this picture and why it's important to her. And if you actually look here on the left, there's a piece of paper that says Wayne on it, as in Bruce Wayne, Batman. So did he deliver this to her, or what? I don't know. So again, I can't say, but it's set in present day, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Batman in the Wonder Woman movie, which is pretty cool. If we go forward here, we're actually gonna see something that's really iconic to Wonder Woman's story. Is that she's on Paradise Island here, Themyscira, and she's seeing a plane crash, like something alien and foreign to her has come to her secret island of the Amazons, and that's what kicks off her becoming Wonder Woman. And then we've actually seen, shots of the soldiers invading Themyscira before, but now we get this new shot of this badass warrior shooting a rope arrow to let her swing down while taking out soldiers with more arrows. But then we see the slow motion bullet that puts an end to her awesome stunt, and it looks like seeing bullets for the first time is a wake-up call for Diana and the Amazons. And I'll bet that that Amazon gets killed, and it's part of Diana's motivation to get up and leave the island to become Wonder Woman and stop this war with all these bullets and avenge her fallen sisters. This is our first full shot of Themyscira. Beautiful, beautiful. It's actually hard to believe this takes place in the same universe as Batman v Superman with all its darkness and low saturation. But there have been comics where Themyscira is actually this super advanced city, but they're not doing that here. They're doing classic Themyscira, which resembles like ancient Greece, like untouched by time. And in the comics, they also had kangaroos that they rode instead of horses, so maybe we'll see some kangaroos. Who knows? If we go forward here, it's Diana talking to her mother, saying that she can't stand by while innocent lives are lost. And then she goes about collecting her shield, you see here, and her sword. Looks like right out of the Legends of Zelda. And then she finally eyes the Wonder Woman outfit. But you'll notice that it's dark, and she's sneaking around collecting all this stuff. So I'm wondering if her mother doesn't want her to leave, but she decides, no, I'm going to do it. I have to go be a hero and save the world. And so she steals all this stuff and skips out with Steve Trevor. It could happen. And speaking of Steve, this is an awesome scene. One, because it just shows how quick she is and the awesome bulletproof bracelets that she has. But it's a throwback scene to Superman the movie when Clark saves Lois from getting shot by a mugger, and she's even wearing the glasses and the hat just like he was, just like Christopher Reeve, of course. In this iconic scene, very memorable. And then the last shot I want to end on is just this really, really awesome shot of her climbing up, like out of the pit and blocking this slow motion bullet. We'll probably see a lot of slow motion bullets in this movie, but that's just completely awesome. So let me know what you think about my villain theories in the comments. What you think about this new Wonder Woman trailer, and for more on Wonder Woman, keep it here on IGN.